After the many beautiful impressions while driving along the Andes, we were of course very excited about the highlands. This first part we've traveled is about the size of Belgium, so it's pretty huge. What are the men doing there? Aha! Apparently a new chapel of Virgin Maria is set up. You can see them all over the country along the streets. This site is awesome, and we have already arrived at our first sleeping place, right next to a small salt lake. The vicuñas, a kind of llama, are really cute and run around everywhere. Somewhat astonished, we can see a village in the middle of nowhere. And you hardly believe it! There is even internet reception. Shortly after the village comes the turnoff to Piedra Pómez, an area with special sandstone formations. The way there is very rough, but you will be rewarded with a sight of this beautiful landscape. The sandstone shapes are really unusual and change the color with the course of the sun. Back on the main road we continue northwards. The landscape is flat, but every now and then hills appear. Often they are old volcanoes. The black lava rock can be identified very well, being so close to the road. Once again, we have an overnight place that you only can wish for. Beautiful mountains, a small lagoon, and heavenly peace. The next stage takes us between the hills through countless small passes and through enchanted, secluded valleys. For hours we see nobody. Small rivers, which meander sometimes along the road, turn everything into a green oasis. We definitely never tire of seeing this incredible nature. In Incahuasi, an old gold digger site, we take a well-deserved break. We want to see the ruins up close. And finally, Ernstli, our quad, has to come out to the fresh air again as well. There are still enough houses left to be able to imagine the village as it was once. I think the stonework is just great. The next morning, we continue along the salt lake. As this was my first encounter with one, I wanted to test the surface. We had already heard a number of horror stories about sunk trucks. And it's true, this underground is really tricky. In some places, it is soft, in others, rock hard. In any case, you have to be careful. One of our goals during this trip is to get to know and fly our brand new drone. It is not that easy. The highlands are certainly suitable with the vastness and completely without trees. But there is often a lot and mostly gusty wind. But at this pitch, the conditions seemed ideal. And finally, only practice makes perfect. But we are still far from it. That was more than smart just to stop here. The visibility when cruising is 0 on this track. Pooh. Soon we have the normal corrugated track again. The landscape is changing rapidly now. We dive into small ravines and drive along green highland meadows up to 4,600 meters to a larger pass. The dirt road is currently being expanded vigorously and probably paved soon. But we still drive on the slopes to the main town of this area, San Antonio de los Cobres. The road from San Antonio down to Salta is not only paved, but it is also one of the most beautiful scenic routes here in the area. We enjoy the ride to the fullest. Somehow the words are missing, with so many stunning views everywhere. In addition, the mountain range is incredibly green, so far up. Once at the bottom, we were received by a broad plain, but as we turn off the main road, we almost lose the spit. We end up in an enchanted valley with colorful hills and thousands of cacti. Not just a few little spiky things, no, giant candelabra cacti. Towards evening, after a very long day of driving with all these scenic highlights, we reach our location for the next few days, the Laguna Brealito, which lies at the very bottom, lonely in a basin. So marvelous.